Hi, I'm Klaus Lauter from Integrate Immigration. Thanks for joining me on our monthly podcast. Last month, we discussed the many foreigners that are coming to South Africa with their returning South African partners. As we learned, married, unmarried, and same-sex partners all qualify for either a life partner permit if unmarried and a spousal permit if married. Importantly, these permits only allow the foreign partners to enter and stay in South Africa. In fact, they are very much like a long tourist visa. If they want to study, work, or run a business, they need to apply for an endorsement. Let's start with the most common situation, a partner who wants to work in South Africa. Let's assume they already have in their position a temporary spousal permit and have just been offered a job by ABC Limited. Before they are able to start work, the partner needs to get their spousal permit endorsed by the Department of Home Affairs. There's some good news here. There are none of the requirements of a normal work permit that pertain to the employer having to first see if a South African can be recruited. There's also no requirement or obligation on the employer offering the position. The only additional item to a normal spousal application would be the actual job offer. The endorsement is specific to this particular job, so it needs to be remembered that should the permit holder change jobs, they would need to get a new endorsement before commencing their new duties. It's good practice for a copy of the permit to be given to the employer in case of inquiries from the Department of Home Affairs. Now let's turn attention to those partners who see their move to South Africa as a good opportunity to further their studies. Again, and in keeping with the regulations around the work permit, the partner permit holder cannot commence their studies until in possession of the appropriate endorsement. To apply for the endorsement, the partner needs to have been formally accepted by the Learning Institute. In this case, the endorsement will be valid for the length of the course or until the expiry of the permit if shorter. When moving from one learning institution to another, the partner will again need the endorsement altered accordingly. This will require not just acceptance from the new learning institution, but also a letter of release from the current one. Lastly, for the entrepreneurs, a business endorsement will be required. The proof to be submitted for this takes the form of company registration documents. Applicants need to be aware that this can take 4 to 6 weeks to get the company registration documents, in addition to the time the actual endorsement takes. Therefore, as you cannot commence your business until the endorsement is received, ample time should be allowed. As per study and work, if you should change business, you will need to obtain a new endorsement. So we have covered work, study and business. Now just to cover a few common questions we get asked often. In terms of how long an endorsement is valid for, it varies on your situation. A work endorsement is valid for either the length of the job offer or permit expiry date, whichever is the shorter. For a study endorsement, the length of the course or permit expiry date, whichever is shorter. For a business endorsement, as long as the permit is valid. Renewals of the permit and endorsement should be applied for in ample time, say 6 months prior expiry. If you should receive your permanent residency, then the need for endorsement will drop away. Remember, this can be applied for after 5 years of marriage or of being life partners. Lastly, let's talk a little about the application process. Applications should be made in your country of residence prior to coming to South Africa. If you already have a job, a place at a learning institute, or a business setup, then the endorsement can be applied for at the same time. If not, then the endorsement can be made later when you are in South Africa. For those followers of our podcast, we thank you for joining us again this month. And those newcomers, welcome. And we hope to see you become a regular. If you need some more information, why not check just our website? Just type Integrate Immigration into Google and you will see we are easy to find. On our site, you will find also all the social media links and a newsletter subscription, all handy things for keeping you up to date. We look forward to seeing you online and at our next podcast when we are going to give you our top 10 tips for a successful immigration to South Africa.